Next we have Father David Mary Ingo. Am I saying that right? And then after Father Ingo, we have Bill Katip.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, like Rabbi Hastings, I am also a son of those who came to this country because of religious persecution of communism in Cuba. My uncle was running the underground trying to help priests escape from persecution, and he himself was imprisoned, tortured, and all night long the sounding of gunshots and the cry, "Viva Cristo Rey," live Christ the King. And so I am a son and a grandson of those who fled a country of religious persecution, and they came here for the freedom that now I seek to continue to protect. My name is Father David Mary Engo from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I am a Catholic priest and the superior of the Franciscan Brothers Minor, and I speak on behalf of the friars, the Franciscan Sisters Minor who are here, the Poor Clares of Sisters of St. Clare, and as well as Shepherds United, which is a group of over 130 pastors who get together from all different religions to support religious freedom. We represent over 100 churches. Catholic religious orders of priests, brothers and sisters and nuns, for ourselves, we're praying, serving, and living throughout northern Indiana. I'm here with the support and blessing of my bishop, His Excellency, Bishop Kevin C. Rhodes. I am here in support for the Indiana Religious Freedom Restoration Act. My religious community of Franciscans and I are committed to the service of the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. We serve the people of God, all the people of this good state. As Catholics, as all Christians, we recognize and reverence the dignity and worth of each and every human life from conception to natural death. We serve the poor and needy of our neighborhood without distinction and without discrimination. That is the Christian way. We have only one rule, the golden rule taught to us by our Lord Jesus Christ: charity. Our Lord taught us not to tolerate one another, but something greater: to love one another as He loved us. Jesus' parable, the Good Samaritan, teaches us that we are to serve everyone and anyone without discrimination. That is the Christian way. In so doing, we are acting as a son of God should act, just being faithful members of our Catholic faith. The Catholic Church, indeed every true Christian, has always been and continues to be directed towards the good of the human person, the dignity of each and every human life, and therefore ordered to the good of each and every human society and each and every nation. This great nation of ours is built upon a constitution drafted by men of various faiths. It was our founding fathers that decided to make the right to religion the First Amendment, not the second, not the third, not the fifth, the first. The Constitution guaranteed us the right to freedom of religion. But we must keep in mind and be vigilant to the fact that freedom of religion is not simply and not only the right to worship. It has always been the Judeo-Christian faith, the faith that this country was founded upon, that has taught us that faith must be expressed, acted upon, and lived in the church, at home, and in the public square. St. James tells us that faith without works is dead. Our faith cannot be truly alive if we Christians do not have the freedom to not only worship our God, but to serve Him. Serving the Lord always has been the business of the church. We serve Him in the poor, the needy, the sick, the homeless, and the uneducated. For He Himself said, "What you did to the least of my brethren, you did to me." The Catholic Church is well grounded in the state of Indiana. There are 5 dioceses representing well over 750,000 people. The church serves the good people of this state with humility and generosity. There are over 400 Catholic parishes, 20 Catholic hospitals, 20 Catholic nursing homes. There are over 200 institutions of education, ranging from pre-K to graduate school. The church serves the poor in shelters, soup kitchens, and food pantries, and so much more. Whenever there is a need, whatever the need may be, the church is always there to help. It is crucial that these ministries be able to continue to serve the good people of Indiana by not being required or forced to violate the tenets of our faith. We cannot be forced to violate the firm truths upon which our faith is built. We must be free to act according to our consciences that are formed by our faith. The conscience is the place where a man or a woman is alone with God. It is a sacred place. And from this place, we must be free to act. Respecting and defending the First Amendment means defending our religious freedom, not to act against our faith and not to act against our conscience. At the time of the Louisiana Purchase, there were a group of Catholic religious sisters serving in New Orleans. The Ursuline sisters were afraid that the Louisiana Purchase would close down their community and impede or stop the wonderful work they were doing. Thomas Jefferson wrote them a letter promising that the life they voluntarily chosen to live and the good works they had committed themselves to do would not be impeded or infringed upon. In the last year, the Little Sisters of the Poor, who serve the poor and elderly second to none, needed a letter from Thomas Jefferson. Mr. Chairman and members of this committee, times and culture are changing. We live in a post-Christian culture. Nothing seems guaranteed today. Nationally and in other states, our freedom is being threatened. We need the Indiana Religious Freedom Restoration Act in order to guarantee our freedom. We need this noble body to be our Thomas Jefferson. We don't want to live in fear of what could happen to our religious liberty in the climate of our present culture. Nobody wants to be a prophet of doom for the future of religious liberty. But our Lord told us to read the signs of the times. And all the signs of our times tell us that we need referah. Upholding the First Amendment, referah that allows us to act according to our faith, a law that protects the freedom of our consciences. Those who oppose this bill see it as a sword for discrimination. But the language of the bill and the need for it is clear. It is not a sword, rather it is a shield. For those of us who have formed our consciences according to the immortal, infallible, and immutable truth who is Jesus Christ, we need to be protected from being discriminated against. This is a law that will protect our religious liberty to stop us from being discriminated against. And we need it. There will be no reason for us to stand here if the signs of the times were not there. They are here. And maybe Indiana has not been affected as much as other states have been affected. But hold on, it will come our way. It will. It would be ridiculous for us to stand here and ask you to pass this legislation if there wasn't a threat. But there is. There is. So, our Catholic bishops of Indiana support the bill, and I ask you, Mr. Chairman and members of this committee, to support and pass the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Thank you.